All right, so now this is the Building Science Advisor tool. First thing you do is you decide from the climate zone map, you plug in your zip code, and it gives you a drop down, and you pick a climate zone. And then you select an assessment. The Building Science Advisor allows you to do new construction or retrofit. And if you put in retrofit, it says, is it a gut rehab? Is it a rehab from the inside or the outside? And then it finds suggestions associated with how you're doing that rehab. So that's something that's kind of cool. And I'm going to show some examples here. This is the first thing. It says, what's my cladding? So you're going to have a drop down. And right now we have metal siding as a cladding. Airspace, is there an airspace or a drainage plane? Is there continuous insulation? This stuff. How thick is it? What type is it? Is there a water resistive barrier and the exterior sheathing? So here's an example I'm going to run right now. In a cold climate, when we put 2 inches of this kind of stuff in the wall, CI, and you can pick the type of material the CI is, and then we've said it's going to have a drained, ventilated airspace. It has a water resistive barrier. You specify the type of water resistive barrier. And then it has a drywall has vinyl paint on it. Thank you. So now we go in and we run that, and we see that that triangle keeps us all in the green. Hey, in Montana, you got no problems with moisture in the cladding, inside the wall, and your thermal assembly is well above the IECC. It's at about R22. So that's an example of, with 2 inches of foam in a cold climate, good moisture performance and good thermal performance. Don't want to get into that red zone. Now we're going to do the same thing again without the CI. And notice here, when you go and don't have the continuous insulation, that you increased your risk on the moisture side. The moisture side is what happens in cold climates when moisture gets into the wall and hits the cladding and either freezes or condenses. So you've got an increased risk there, and you have a much lower thermal performance R value. And here's an example in the hot, humid climate. So this is this identical wall in a hot, humid climate. And basically what we have here is 2 examples. We have an existing cavity and a retrofit. And so we began with a cavity that had no CI, no insulation, and just typical 2x4, so an old house in Atlanta. Then we went in and added insulation and an inch of this type of CI. And what we did was, you can see that the original triangle, that we have no more moisture risk, nor do we have any mold risk, just like we did before when the house didn't have any insulation. However, the thermal performance has gone well up, and now you have significant energy savings and comfort. So here's an example in a hot, humid climate using this kind of CI with insulation in the wall, and we showed you the other one. So I want to just point out that this is not going to replace hygrothermic analysis, WUFI analysis that many people do in architecture and engineering. It's a tool that will help you reduce your risk and not, necessarily hire an architect or an engineer for $1,000. So that's my presentation. Again, here's the website. Please go try it out. Let us know what you got to say about the BSA. And I want to acknowledge everybody at Oak Ridge that's allowed me to help present this today. Thank you very much.